Hello my lovelies and welcome back to Sondering Tarot. This is your daily tarot reading for the 16th of June 2024. And once again we'll be using the Journey to Oz and Wonderland tarot. You'll find that in the description box down below. So let's see what's going on for today. Okay, my lovelies, I have all your cards out on the table. We have 2 aces, 1 major arcana. We also have 1 synchronicity on the table, and that is 666. The best part of your day, we start off with the 7 of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. The 6 of Pentacles. And the 5 of Cups in the reverse. Okay. So yes, we're working on things. And it looks like we're at least trying to gain momentum and where we're working on things. We're investing a little bit more wisely, hence why we have the 6 of Pentacles here. We're a little bit more balanced. Or at least we have the potential to be a little more balanced. And I will confess there is energy from yesterday in this reading. So if you have not watched that that video, which I called Giving of Self, you might want to go back for that reading after you watch this one. But we mentioned boundary issues yesterday. We mentioned overgiving. We mentioned, empaths and healers and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, when it comes to poor boundaries and giving too much of self, it's great if we get to the point where our highest potential is the best part of our day is realizing, okay, this is where I need to go into. This is where things will be all hunky-dory. This is where things will be equal. What I give out, I get back. Now, on the flip side, the worst part of our day, we start off with the Ace of Cups in the reverse. And the 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. And the 6 of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, you might be, number one, contending with somebody else's outburst that is not going very well. Whether it's not them handling it very well or you're responding not handling it very well. At the same time, in recompense to yesterday and the over-giving, I mentioned this yesterday, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't help anyone else and keep giving to them and leaving nothing for yourself and expecting there to be something there for you to pull from. It doesn't work. So if we're still in the state of over-giving, overindulging, and for those of us that are empaths, if we are absorbing too much instead of observing too much, and that is draining our energy, draining us emotionally. We're taking on the emotions of others, and it is overriding our own emotions so much we can't distinguish anymore what is ours and what is someone else's. This is an unsuccessful mitigation of our resources, of our boundaries, of our priorities, of our usage of time, energy, ability. So this is why this is important. Especially for those of you that didn't watch the Giving of Self video. So after this, you might definitely want to go back for it, especially if any of this is resonating for you, simply because there's a possibility some aha moments didn't happen. And we are still overgiving. And we're still giving away energy and time that we should probably get more of a handle on. Now, our obstacle, or how to get over our obstacle, we start off with the High Priestess. The Two of Swords in the reverse. the Ace of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, the Six of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. Now, for some of us, this is, it can be taken a couple different ways. I will be honest. For some of us, our first instinctual thought, reaction is actually the choice we need to stick with. Why? Because it's true, it's honest, it's the correct answer. And that's what's actually going to help us invest our energy and our time wisely, especially when it comes to hitting our limits, getting to our boundaries. That's what's going to tell us, okay, this is no longer working. We have to move on to something else. Why? Because that benefits us. It's how we maintain our status quo. It's how we not have our world upended. And each one of us has our own limits, our own potential, our own gifts. Because let's face it, some of us are empaths, some of us are healers, some of us are literally using psychic gifts that we have been discussing today and yesterday. And there's going to come a point where you're going to have to make a decision. And it's going to have to be one that rings true, honest, and authentically for you. And that might be you having to speak up and tell somebody that, no, you can't do that right now. Or, no, you've taken on too much. You can't take on any more. Why? Because it's not going to work out for you, even if it works out for them. And you literally stop. You end up putting your work down. You end up stop helping them. You stop assisting them. Why? Because you've reached your limit and now it's time to go ahead and move on to something else and walk away for your own benefit. Okay. Now, that scenario says we're reinforcing a boundary and being very vocal about it. It's not just it's okay. No. Stop. No more. Which is kind of great. It's not just us following our gut or intuition or anything like that, but really reinforcing boundaries, which is something that came up in yesterday's reading, as not knowing where our boundaries were or having poor boundaries and not reinforcing them. So speaking up and saying your truth, having your piece, even if somebody else doesn't like it, is kind of nice. And sometimes the best thing for you to do is to be honest with yourself, number one, but two, with others. Especially if you are in a situation where you are giving or trying to help somebody else. Sometimes we give and we reach a point where that's not valid anymore. And that means we have to reinforce boundaries. That means we have to put our foot down. That means we have to stop. And not everyone is going to be happy with you doing that. Remember our worst part of the day, somebody could have an emotional outburst, especially if things are taken away and they don't like it and they're not handling it very well, and it just kind of all falls apart. So that may not necessarily be you not handling it very well. You might actually handle it very well, but if you're putting your foot down, you could have somebody else respond very poorly to you reinforcing boundaries. it must be said. So, there it is. In which case, I would totally not worry about somebody else who's maybe an energy vampire, a taker, or somebody who's not going to respect your boundaries throwing a fit if you are reinforcing your boundaries. Because that's, after all, their issue, not yours. And you have to go your own way and do what's best for you. There's no point in harming yourself just to make somebody else whole, happy, and satisfied. That's not how that goes. Alright, I did add up all your cards for the sake of numerology. Everything here adds up to 55, which ultimately reduces down to 1, which is the Magician or the Pioneer. Oh, yeah, and we have 2 aces on the table, so we have 111 showing up as a synchronicity. Yeah, you might have to forge a new path, literally, invest in a new way, move in a new way. Why? Because it's more beneficial, more balanced, more energetically pleasing to you, rather than somebody else. You might have to, go it alone, regardless of how anyone thinks or feels about it. Pioneer, trailblazing. Okay. And for those of you that do happen to like the astrology, we have Venus in Gemini squaring Neptune in Pisces. Compassion can be high, can be super understanding, but this may leave you vulnerable if you don't have healthy boundaries. So, something to keep in mind. Yes, you might have to tell somebody no. They may not like it. Too bad. So sad. Sorry, not sorry. And that's kind of what you have to do if you are reinforcing a boundary. Like I said, do what's best for you. Don't compromise yourself just because it works for somebody else. It has to work for you too. And if it doesn't, then it's not the right thing to do. Even if you feel for that person. That's all I'm saying. Alright, I love this. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. Hopefully it resonates for you. It's a general reading. Please take where it resonates. Leave the rest. And if it does resonate for you, by all means, give me a big thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.